I'm kinda surprised at how little I remember the original Top Gun. I watched the movie only 2 years ago and it hardly registers in my mind. I had to rewatch my review on it just to refresh my memory a little bit. It goes to show how memorable it was, and how silly of an idea it is to make a sequel. But here we are. Top Gun Maverick retreads a lot of old ground, hitting similar story beats and plenty of nostalgia bait, which, again, is hilarious for such a basic and unmemorable movie. However, it does manage to have its moments, and overall, I'd consider it better than the original, for what that's worth, I suppose. Top Gun Maverick follows our titular main character many years after the events of the first movie. Maverick has been assigned as a flight instructor by the Navy to train a special team of fighter pilots on a near-impossible suicide mission. One such pilot is Rooster, the son of Maverick's former wingman and best friend Goose. There's plenty of tension between Maverick, Rooster, and the other pilots, but everyone slowly learns to work together as a team and, along the way, grow better as people. Like I already said, the nostalgia bait is high. This sequel recreates a lot of the same scenes, and it's rarely for very good reasons. You even have a rivalry between Rooster and Hangman, which mimics the original's Maverick and Iceman, although the motivations here are reversed. In this case, it's Hangman that's the hotshot who doesn't play by the rules. However, despite the similarities, the sequel is mostly doing its own thing. The movie opens with a scene of Maverick attempting to reach Mach 10 in an experimental military plane test, and it's pretty cool and well shot. It's silly and very on the nose how this opener ends with a speech about how human pilots will soon be obsolete in the future, but whatever. I also really like that the main mission of the movie is explained in detail early on, and all the training leading up to it is based around its specific elements.
Why are they dead?
We broke the 300-foot ceiling. Now Sam took us out.
No. Why are they dead?
I slowed down and I didn't give her a warning. It's my fault.
Was there a reason you didn't communicate with your team?
I was focusing on...
One that their family will accept at the funeral.
None, sir.
Why didn't you anticipate the turn? You were briefed on the terrain. Don't tell me. Tell it to his family.
The stakes are set high right at the start, and a decent attempt is made to keep the audience invested. Not too shabby for such a basic movie. Unfortunately, that's the problem right there. It's such a basic movie. Just like the original, half the time, there's basically nothing going on. There's another romantic subplot which serves the exact same purpose to the narrative as it did the first time around. When Maverick is at his lowest point, he needs his girlfriend to convince him to get back out there. Again, a lot of the same story beats get reused. Whenever the movie isn't focused on the military exercises, it can be really boring and a slog to go through. The dialogue can be okay at times, but none of the writing is necessarily great, nor are the characters deep or interesting enough to warrant much attention. Obviously, the whole movie can't be about fighter planes, but it's just that the human characters and setting are so boring. Even when it tries to differentiate them by having Bob as the nerdy loser type and Hangman as a pain in the ass, everyone is still really generic and predictable. Even the relationship between Maverick and Rooster fails to impress. It's cool how there's some tension there and how it ends up getting resolved, but it's really not enough. I actually found that aspect, the friendship between Goose and Maverick, to be better in the original. At least it was more fun and heartfelt. I'm not trying to dunk on the movie entirely for its storytelling because, honestly, an attempt was made. It's not terrible, but it's still very generic, very predictable, and it doesn't have enough fun with it, if that makes any sense. All that said, I do want to emphasize how good the action scenes are, and especially the entire last 30 minutes of the movie. The original Top Gun was already pretty well shot and edited. It's fast-paced and all over the place, but the dialogue during the action certainly helps keep you on track. In the sequel, it's much of the same, only handled even better. Not really sure how to put it exactly, other than to say it just looks really good and it's legitimately exciting to watch. Like I said before, the main mission is explained in detail, and much of the movie centers around training for it. Even though the pilots don't actually fly through a canyon or pull up a tall mountain during their training, you definitely get the idea and understand the pressure that they're going through. The ending also definitely doesn't disappoint, and is the major highlight of the movie. I kind of wish I could just recommend the last 30 minutes and leave it at that, but you do need that initial hour and a half to drive home the proper impact. That's why this movie is kind of hard for me to talk about and recommend. When it's good, the action is legitimately exciting and fun, but about half of the whole film feels like it's dragging its feet. I don't really care about these characters, and the movie isn't doing a good job at convincing me otherwise. It sure is a hell of a lot less steamy than the original. There's still a sex scene in this one, but it's way more toned down in comparison. There's also a little bit of cursing too, but it's a lot more appropriate this time around since it's rated PG-13, so you have a more reasonable idea of what you're getting into. Overall, if you like the first Top Gun, then you've probably already seen this anyway. For everyone else, it's an okay movie, I'll say that much. Several of the moments are awesome, the camera work for the action is great, I'll definitely give it respect on that front, but for the most part, it's nothing spectacular. I suppose you could see much worse, but you could be seeing something much better as well. Thanks for watching my review on Top Gun Maverick, and happy 4th of July, everyone.